Okay. Chief, why don't you talk about your role as far as the Unified Command and what your initial steps were and how you were notified?
Well, like Andy said, there was some confusion to begin with because all the information wasn't coming out from the aircraft.
Why is that? Why wasn't it coming out?
Well, that's the.
I mean, if you can
yeah,
tell us.
that's the responsibility of the crew of the aircraft. Really, they have to communicate. The crew has to communicate with the pilot. The pilot has to know what's going on, and with the recent security now, the pilots are all locked in. So it's not like the pilot can come out and take a look, and so he has to rely on the information that's being provided to him by the flight crew. So. Originally, it came out as firecrackers on board, and it was a flight from Amsterdam, and that flight has been somewhat problematic. Nothing to this extent,
okay. But is that because of their security measures?
Not necessarily the security.
Or?
Not necessarily that the security measures weren't adequate, but they're coming from Amsterdam. It's about a 10-hour flight. There seems to be. Amsterdam has this drug policy, and we've just had problems with that flight with disruptive passengers in the past. But we were not told the extent of the Christmas Day incident until the plane arrived at the gate. And once the doors opened to the plane, well, it became very, very evident that we had a major problem on our hands. And that's when we immediately tried to get the plane evacuated to an inspection pad, which is an isolated area where allows our bomb dogs and our EOD technicians to go on board and find out just what is on board. So, but like Andy said, I don't think that day could have gone, based on the information that we had, I just don't see how that day could have gone any better for law enforcement.
Is that part of it because of the training that you go through as far as Unified Command? I mean, you have exercises that the public may not be aware of, so that when an incident like this does happen, you're well prepared and
continuously. Yeah, we continuously have these tabletops, and protocols are set, protocols are in place, so we're really prepared to deal with anything that that's going to happen. We just have to get the information. So,
he's been called the underwear bomber, and I think people, I believe, understand why that label was put on him. But maybe you can go a little more in depth as far as how the explosives were on his body and what type of explosives they were. Sure.
Bill, I think that, and I think most people have seen it, it was kind of a bomb secreted in his underwear, actually sewn in, and he had an accelerant in a syringe that he was supposed to basically inject into this explosive, and it would detonate. I think, thank God, and we still don't know why. I mean, maybe it could have been the long travel, could have been sweat from his body, but somehow the charge became somewhat elongated, was not packed together tightly enough to detonate. So thank God that happened.
Okay, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
Hey Warren, you can now find TV Warren on Facebook. Check out our program schedules, updates, photos, videos, and even comment on your favorite shows. Just go to facebook.com/TV Warren and become a fan.
In after-school programs, your kids will find the hero inside themselves. Let us know you on after-school programs in your area. Call 1-800-USA-LEARN.
Looking for an affordable and convenient place to exercise? Open 7 days a week with yearly memberships. The Warren Community Center is your fitness solution. Call 268-8400 now.
Welcome back to Police Journal. Andy, let's get back to that Christmas morning. What do we call that? The
Christmas Day bomber underwear, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The timetable on this is kind of interesting. Christmas Day, of all days, I mean, the staffing at the airport had to be probably less than it would be on a normal day. Is that correct?
Well, no, because holidays are a busy time for us.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. Yeah.
we were very fortunate that that we did have adequate staffing, and plus the time that it occurred allowed us to keep our day shift officers over into the afternoon. So we did have adequate staff.
Andy, how close did we come to a major tragedy, disaster? How close was it?
It was very close. I think, but for the grace of God, this thing would have went on. I mean, there was enough explosives to bring that plane down. Like I said, and fortunately,
there was enough.
Yeah, fortunately for us, I believe that just the shifting of the flight or bodily fluids or whatever, just it kind of rendered it somewhat impotent. And thank God.
The flight path, if you can, coming in, if it would have been detonated, it would have been over a highly populated area.
It was, the only thing I can say, Bill, is it was over the U.S. soil. And that's one thing we've determined through the flight recorders and when the fire alarm system went off, exactly where the plane. We can't really say because we've got an upcoming trial, but I can say it was over U.S. soil.
Okay. What was lacking? I mean, he had no baggage, no identification, not even a coat. Is that correct? I think
he had a carry-on bag. He did have a carry-on bag.
He did.
Which, Bill, many people now, that's because you have to pay, number one, for a bag on a plane. Number two, it's a pain to go to the carousel. So a lot of people just take a carry-on now, and you can fit basically a suitcase above the bin. So, I don't know if that was really going to be a key.
But don't you think the security here in this country is tighter than it would be in Amsterdam? I mean, did they drop the ball?
I don't know. I think that's something that has to be determined. I mean, exactly how he got through. And one of the things we're looking at is, what help did he have along the way, and the stops that he made after he left Yemen, and what are the keys that would trigger our concern? Chief Glomb and I were talking earlier about 2 days later we had a similar incident. Same thing. Mechanical engineer coming from Yemen through Nairobi, Kenya, through Amsterdam to the United States, locked himself in the bathroom, wouldn't come out. Very, very, very similar. Carry-on luggage, except for this guy was Christian, not Muslim, which we don't know. I mean, you just can't tell. But that triggered our concern. So it's the question is, what are the keys that are going to trigger a double take by U.S. security?